The shadow of a man. This story begins with a child deep into his adolescence and ignorant to the mechanisms of the world. Under the guidance of two broken people, first the father, a man dependent on his depressants, and second the mother, a bipolar woman hell-bent on control. The child was cut off from the world, which helped to develop his antisocial personality, his room being his only friend. This heavily affected his ability to have any secure attachment. The child hardly spoke, ate, or breathed out of fear of abuse. Night terrors shrouded him with each waking night. Meanwhile, a relationship that should have never been progressively deteriorated. Fights became more and more common between the mother and father. Finally, the last straw. The father was fired from his dead-end job. The buildup of stress was too much. He left his family and his life. The sorrow-ridden child became a projection of guilt for the mother, blaming his existence for the absence of his incompetent father. The child was now a teenager, who developed a fixation on repression, attempting to escape his life with each rush of dopamine, paired with his increasing use of stimulants only fueled his insomnia, throwing off his circadian rhythm entirely. He didn't sleep anymore, and if he did, he only dreamed in nightmares. The mother was now suffering hallucinations due to the post-traumatic stress disorder from the sight of her husband. She quit her job, and now with the bills piling up, the boy dropped out of school and began to work to help pay off the bills. The boy's manager attempted to comfort him, only to be pushed away since it was the boy's only reflex. Within a year, the boy gave up and left his old life behind in search of a new one. After a few years of running, the boy was now a man. He encountered an old man that took him in and got him a job at a workshop. The man took up to his new work with ease, which allowed him to take out his anger through sublimation. The man began to finally feel at home. He even started dating a young woman. However, the mentor started to develop dementia. Thinking of what to do, the man began to convene with a psychologist. Wondering if there was anything that could be done, the psychologist told the man new research methods were being developed, but there was little that could be done. And the mentor was likely to additionally develop Alzheimer's disease, as both the mentor's short-term and long-term memory would fade. The man, clearly in denial, questioned the validity of the psychologist's answers, and sought out another and another and another until he had enough. The man left the town with his now pregnant girlfriend, fearing he couldn't see his friend and mentor become a shadow of his former self. A few months later, the couple found a place to settle down, and the woman told the man of her pregnancy and that they were having twins. The man, who was surprisingly overjoyed, asked if the twins were fraternal or identical. The woman explained that she didn't know yet, but it didn't matter. The couple was finally happy. A few months passed and the twins were born, two identical girls. The man, determined not to become like his parents, swore to himself he would only use an authoritative parenting style. However, months passed, and his children had not developed as fast as he expected. Fearing that they may have Down syndrome or autism, he met with the child psychiatrist. Again, the man refused to listen to reason, claiming the psychiatrist was wrong. The psychiatrist, who grew tired of the semantics quickly, called the man out, stating he was an egocentric idiot that lacked patience in life, and was promptly forced out of the office. The man, now starting to wonder if he'd become a manifestation of his parents. Believing that he had, the man returned home suffering from an identity crisis. Seeing himself become increasingly similar to his parents with each passing day frightened him. And over the course of the next several years, the man turned to the bottle to combat his depression, which only resulted in his life leaving him and taking the children. The man unknowingly created a self-fulfilling prophecy, sending him deeper and deeper into his own dark chasm. The man, now nearing his end, began to suffer from constant delusions and hallucinations. The old man went to a doctor and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. The man struggled greatly through the last few years of his life, as his neurons began to fade as well as his shallow intelligence, with the man's final crutch being that of cognitive therapy, which helped increase his tolerance towards his worsening panic disorder. The man was now attempting desperately to hold on to a perceived and non-existent reliability that he had lost so long ago. The tragedy ends with the shadow of a man on the brink of death. Fearing its imminence, the old man looked back at his life, cursing his ignorance and lack of insight. He questioned his past behavior, wondering if there This sudden realization was punishment for his ego, or his own phobia of commitment, for pushing away the little family and friends he once had. Knowing he could not be saved, he accepted his extinction and passed on into the great abyss, fear overtaking him one final time. The man's existence was soon forgotten, leaving no trace of a horrific life which ran its course, and ended just as it began. The man was nothing more than a simple cog in a brutal and unforgiving machine.